So
right now we are discussing
nice to see you.
I read your paper on the privacy access easily more than 1 year ago.
Long time ago, I'm not sure I
We are
remember.
discussing right now 6 months. Well, some people
We met, I think. Okay, yeah. Now I remember. Okay, I think, yeah.
But probably you have like a more fresh idea.
I'm in Narcis or just in Romania. Well, I'm from Romania, so I just went back. I was in Japan at the time. So, am uitat complet. Nu mai știu. Tu vorbești doar ocazional sau?
That's my take. Essentially, so these people would
Ai învățat la școală? Ce tare! Chiar nu mai știu, dar nu sunt foarte mulți oameni care învață română la școală. Scuze, vorbesc ca sorry, I was talking too much. So it's not a research institute, it's an ISP actually. It's the biggest ISP in Romania. It's Romanian cable system, Romanian data system. Well, I'm part of the IETF. Kind of a researcher there, or trying to reach the academic research and the hands-on research that's going on.
That you cannot really
It's an interesting job. How about you, honestly? Like, I think she's your colleague.
So I was following the message that I sent. I mean, I mentioned that it was like on the top of my head. You know, it's like stuff that was like this. So if you remember, you know, there was one guy that said I think that we can still, you know, revise the program. What I said was, I think we cannot really do that because if you want to fix all the problems, it should actually be a different house. But there might be some things, you know, that I'm missing because
well, if you ever want to chat in Romanian, please let me know. If you want to improve your Romanian, I don't know, maybe. Your Romanian is great, man. You sound native. Did you study in Romania or did you? 1 year. Yeah, that's fine. Your Romanian is very good.
All right, we're going to try and get started. I'm actually not sure, as in I have no idea where Paul is. We have a practice of swapping off meeting responsibilities. This meeting is his, so I'm not quite sure where things stand. And we are still Paul-less. Okay, so first order of business, do we have a volunteer to take notes? Okay, thank you. Anybody to do minutes? This is your chance to do a solid for the IETF. Okay. All right, thanks. We also appear to be devoid of slides, so let me see if I can at least project this. Basically, we're expecting this to be a fairly brief meeting. Paul is on Jabber. I just did, but if you could hear from more than one of us, that would be very nice. Oops. All right. So basically, this is the order of business for today. In terms of updates, there are no changes to the charter. The one thing that is notable is that Working Group Last Call on 6962 BIS closed yesterday. There were some comments that need to be resolved before the document is sent on to the IESG, but they do not appear to be serious enough to require going back into Working Group Last Call again. So it looks like we've achieved a major milestone here. Yay. Thank you for everybody who's done so much work. In the issue tracker, we've got 17 open tickets. None are in the core documents. Gossip, the gossip document is still in IESG evaluation. We're waiting on the AD write-up, I believe. Ecker.
Yep.
Yeah.
AD review first.
Yes.
Assume right up.
Okay. Redaction, the proponents are MIA. It appears that, we certainly do not have anything approaching consensus to take on redaction in general, and the people who have been advocating for it have kind of gone missing. So that is on hold for, until that situation changes. Threat analysis, it's still stuck. I know Deb has volunteered to revise the document and is waiting for some text from Paul. In the meantime, the authors, he can't rev the document without changes. CT DNSSEC, still in the brainstorming stage. We don't have a document, and we don't have, at this point, we don't even have a proposal on what exactly needs to be logged. CT binaries, I think you may recall that we had a document at the last meeting that people thought the problem was interesting and appropriate for us, but that the document was not a very good place to start. TLS extension for CT, question mark. Does anybody know what's going on with that?
Hi, Rich Sauls. Aren't they just putting it in the OCSP extension?
That's what I thought.
That's
Yeah.
that's what everyone's doing. So
So there's
the need for this is really dropped. Since
Yeah.
It seems to just work.
Okay, so there's no additional work being proposed here. Is that correct? Oh, okay.
I mean, that's interesting because we have support for it in Firefox, and I thought Chrome did too.
Yeah, I did too.
So yeah, so that seems like we've been mismatching the documentation and the protocol engineers.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that it's a piece of future work that's been a piece of future work for several years now is a client behavior draft. And we'd really like to get that going, but it would be most appropriate to have somebody from Browserland pick up the pen on that.
Sure. Well, I mean, in this case, it's just the code point registration, right? And
I'm sorry, there's a code point. Yes.
The code point registration and description of how the code point is used. Maybe someone from Google would like to do this, given that.
But on the client behavior, that's sort of total browser policy, right?
I'm just talking about the TLS.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of client behavior covers a couple of things. I mean, certainly there's documentation of this, but there's also the API question, right? So, yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that would be covered.
Emily Stark, Chrome. I'm sorry, I don't have any context on this. I didn't know this document existed or is supposed to exist or something.
It's supposed to exist.
Okay, yeah. I have no context, but I'm happy to take this back to Google and see if we can find out what the deal is.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Is it a visual registration? What is the story?
I'm sorry, what?
I mean, it's registered in TLS, right?
That's what I'm asking. I don't know. What's the document supposed to do?
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, I didn't put together this agenda. I'm not sure where this came from. So.
Okay, so the situation appears to be the 69.
Yeah, the situation appears to be the 6962 documented the code point.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like I don't know who put together this agenda. So I don't know. Is this a separate? There's a name, a document for this, or does no document even exist for this?
There's no document that exists. As I said, I was surprised to see this show up on the agenda.
Huh.
Paul put this agenda together. I'm not sure where he is.
I mean, so for what it's worth, I'm not saying that the write-up is here. The write-up here is ideal, but it does seem like there is a code point extension and it is registered by ENA, and so probably we can live with that. though I have to admit it's not a very, the description is like 4 paragraphs long and it takes up this much of the document, but I'm not sure any action is really needed here.
Yeah, my recollection from 6962 bis is that it actually has been spelled out a little bit, that discussion, so. Okay, so so this is, I think this discussion is moot. So as the log monitoring API, somebody's got some text checked into GitHub. Does anybody know anything about this? Alrighty. All right. I think we're done, actually. This is sort of the state of things. If, it sounds like Emily's going to take some questions back to Google about the possibility of starting a new document on client behavior. If somebody from one of the other browser vendors wants to pitch in, that would be helpful as well. So.
I'm not volunteering for that. This is AD hat on. Like, when are you done?
When are we done? Well, at this point, like, we have this one major deliverable, 6962 bis. That right. That's so there are a couple of questions about the possibility of taking on new logging new applications. The two that are on the table are DNSSEC and binaries, code distribution. But at this point we don't have credible bases for either.
Right. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking at that and.
Yeah, I mean, so there has been a lot of discussion of a log monitoring API and a client behavior draft. We don't have documents for those either. We probably should have a client behavior draft just to, on the basis of the questions that Richard brought last year. Yeah.
Because you flushed your brain when you left Mozilla. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those were closed, but they were also closed with the expectation that there would be a client behavior document.
Right. So I guess I do think it'd be good there'd be a client behavior document, but I also think it'd be good not to have a working group that isn't doing anything. So yes. I guess I would propose that perhaps you try to recruit somebody who will do that, and if you cannot recruit somebody who will do that, we give up and declare defeat and close the working group.
Okay.
I mean, like, because it seems to me the other documents basically, like the DNSSEC and the binaries, like, absent some new showing of interest, like, basically they're not going to show up. So.
Yeah, no, I take that as it's a badge of honor to close down a working group.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I'm not opposed to the working group continuing to exist if there's exciting work being happening, but if it's just sort of like, if we're just a placeholder for like maybe someone will come up with something good, that's not useful.
Right. There's been a lot of we could, but not a lot of Okay. Absent anything else, we're done. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Location. So, yeah.
Hi.
In regards to redaction, I
Yeah.
fully support